What is up, guys? Rick Kackis here. Thank you so much for stopping by, and today, oh my goodness, we've got some incredible Destiny 2 news coming out of the PAX West event. But we also actually got some awesome Borderlands 3 news. I did a video yesterday covering its endgame. If you're interested in BL3, check it out. But anytime I put out a video that's not Destiny 2, there's people who get mad and dislike just because it's not Destiny 2. Guys, Destiny 2 is not going anywhere. It's my absolute main game. I love it. But I'm still gonna play and cover what I'm passionate about. I've been looking forward to Borderlands 3 for 7 years since Borderlands 2, so just thought I'd say that. But let's get on to the Destiny 2 information. So, at PAX West, Crucible, specifically 3v3 Elim on the Widow's Court map, which is returning from Destiny 1, was playable, and that means the builds that people were using were kind of like Shadowkeep builds. There was elements of Shadowkeep within the actual playable characters that people were using at PAX West, and that means we gotta look at raid loot, exotics, a ton of stuff. Let's start with the biggin, which is the brand new raid loot from the Black Garden raid coming with Shadowkeep. So here is the page that showcases this brand new raid loot. And looking at the guns here, oh my goodness, those look sweet. Like, those look incredibly unique, incredibly sweet. I really hope that they have, unique perks, that they have potentially unique archetypes, that they feel unique, and we've kind of been having a slight problem, in my opinion, where a lot of the raid loot feels very similar to just normal legendary loot. Hopefully Bungie jumps on top of it this time around, but just in terms of appearance, absolutely sweet to get an idea of what is at stake for this Black Garden raid. But we also got to look at the brand new raid exotic. And here it is, the Divinity Trace Rifle. It has the exotic perk Judgment. Sustained damage with this weapon envelops the target in a field that weakens and disrupts them. It also has another unique perk, Penance, that we can't really see. But that sounds very good. Weakens, like Melting Point describes itself as weakening an enemy. So potentially, if you just shoot an enemy with the Judgment, they're going to get a debuff where all your teammates and yourself do more damage. Disrupts them is interesting as well. Could you potentially cancel attacks from enemies by shooting them with this gun? Could you make it like impossible for them to attack you if you have all 6 people using this weapon? I hope so, because that sounds super, super sweet. Now, we have actually likely seen this trace rifle in promotional images that you can see on screen right now, but of course we had no idea what it really did, and so getting a look at its exotic perk is really sweet. However, something else interesting about these screens of the raid loot means that this image here, which was showcased in an earlier kind of Shadowkeep reveal, showcasing all the loot, well, you'll notice that a lot of that loot is covered in moss and leaves, and the background for that loot is the Black Garden, and it was speculated, by myself included, that, maybe these are the raid weapons. And of course, now we know they're not, but because of an announcement earlier this week where Luke Smith was talking about seasons, and we know for a fact that Season of the Undying, which is the season coming with Shadowkeep, is going to have its own unique loot and unique activity. And we know, just again announced earlier this week, that the unique activity takes place in the Black Garden. So what we're likely seeing here is actually that seasonal, like Season of the Undying loot from that Black Garden seasonal activity. So that's really cool as well. So there's going to be a lot of different sets of legendary weapons going around with Shadowkeep. We've got the normal, like Shadowkeep legendaries you get in the moon, then we've got the raid loot, then we've got the kind of seasonal loot. Like, that's a lot of stuff. But guys, that's not it. Just like how someone went into their inventory and checked out this raid loot, they did that with the other new exotics in the game. So right here we have a look at the brand new Deathbringer exotic rocket launcher. Now this is likely this rocket launcher here that we've seen in trailers and so on. It's kind of like the Void Nova Bomb launching rocket launcher, but the exotic perk specifically is Dark Deliverance. Fires remotely detonated projectiles that drop void orbs on enemies. hold your shoot button to fire, and release to detonate. So, like, basically it's like an airstrike. You press it, you hold it, it goes over the enemies, and you let go, and it drops all of these void projectiles on enemies. Like, that seems at least very unique for sure. Of course, it's got another unique perk that we don't know what it does just yet, Dark Descendant. And what you can also see from this screen is yet another new weapon over in the bottom left corner. It's just $ machine gun name, whatever. Obviously, some unfinished assets. But yeah, this is that new machine gun pictured here that we've also been seeing in trailers and so on quite a bit. This is the machine gun with the bug inside of it. Well, someone at PAX West claimed to have used this gun and made a Reddit post, as you can see right here, saying the perk is this weapon fires single-shot explosive rounds, says it fires like an instant linear fusion, has no drop-off, 1/5 to the body, one-shot headshots. That sounds absolutely nutty. Like, that is not what I envision a machine gun to be. Now, maybe they're still tuning things, maybe they're going to completely change it when the game launches, of course, and you know, take this with a grain of salt. It's not necessarily any proof of that happening, it's just someone claiming what it does, so regardless, it's pretty interesting. Moving on from there, we actually got another look at a new Shadowkeep Exotic. So going back to the image here showcasing a bunch of loot, we can see clearly that there's a Titan Exotic. We already know that exotic, it's these legs. And then we have a Hunter Exotic that was also revealed, it's this helmet right here, but then we had the Warlock Exotic, and we didn't know anything about this. Well, someone actually got an image of it, incredibly bad quality, but the exotic perk does say, Ascending Amplitude. Each enemy you defeat with Stormtrance increases the damage you deal with Stormtrance. Whew, okay. That's got me a little concerned, not gonna lie, in PvP, but that seems very powerful. To be honest, actually in PvE as well, because you're killing so much more enemies in PvE, like you're wiping out entire groups of acolytes, could you buff this thing enough that you are just slaying out on bosses and stuff, like killing all the enemies that spawn near the boss, and then going for the boss for like the second half of your super and just destroying it, finally making Stormtrance good against those big high-tier PvE enemies? Whew, that's a possibility. However, it is time to move on now and talk about some other stuff not related to the PAX West event. More information about the upcoming update that's hitting the game September 3rd, which is this upcoming Tuesday. So, DMG actually, in the Bungie forums, talked about exactly how the Mountaintop and the Wendigo GL3 Pinnacle quests are being changed. Guys, if you haven't gone for them, this is the week to go for them because they're significantly easier. So, for the Wendigo, grenade launcher kills are worth 100% more for each objective. Death penalty no longer exists for the final objective. Grenade launcher multi-kills grant 50% more progress, and completing playlist strikes grants a significant amount of progress towards the final objective. That last point is to make sure that people just don't keep going into blind well on the corrupted strike and farming it there. Moving on from there, Mountaintop. This is the big one. So firstly, the required number of multi-kills has been reduced from 200 to 75. And the required number of medals has been reduced from 100 to 25. Points earned in competitive has been further increased relative to other PvP modes, so roughly it's 1 times towards your progress for quick play, 2 times for Iron Banner, and 3 times for comp. Wow, so those objectives have been more than halved, and there has been actually some people upset from this because, of course, they did it the good old hard way, and now it's becoming like so much easier. That's a pretty nebulous topic I'm not going to get into right now, but I feel like a bit more warning about just how easier it would get. Like, we knew the Mountaintop quest was getting adjusted with this update for a while, but we didn't know the severity of it. So letting us know, like, hey guys, it's going to be a lot easier if you're farming it, kind of like stop. You may want to just wait. That may have been the right thing to do. But regardless, again, if you haven't got it, it's going to be worth going for definitely next week. Moving on from there, something else very interesting, and this is coming from Paul Tassi from Forbes, and was later corroborated by Luke Smith himself, and that's the fact that right now you have to kind of double purchase things for crossplay to work. So if you're on the PS4, like let's say the PS4 is your main account, and you cross-saved to PC and you want to play the Forges, you have to actually buy Forsaken and the annual pass again, right? And that's obviously been an annoying point for a lot of players. But with the upcoming seasons, the seasons are cross-account purchases if you buy them on your main platform. So during cross-save, if you picked PS4 as your kind of main account, and then you buy a season's pass or a certain season in 2019 on the PS4, then you'll also get access to that content on PC, on Xbox, anywhere else you want to cross-save to. That is huge, that's definitely beneficial, and you know, it would have been not so great if you had to re-buy that every single time. So huge moves by Bungie, super awesome they're doing that. Alright guys, so that is it for the new Destiny 2 news. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, found it informative. If you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. If you guys want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at @RickKackis. That's linked in the description down below. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.